mysterious story.
There does not seem to be anybody on this list that expected to see some of the most terrifying things ever captured on camera with their drone. Number 5. Creepy anti-drone clowns. Mike Cass seemed to use his drone to follow a clown who was on the run in Carlsbad, California. First, he comes upon someone who may or may not have been dressed as a clown and is wondering about this blown-out structure. Despite the fact that it's difficult to see from this distance, I believe that they are putting on one. Lastly, despite the fact that Mike locates this structure, there is not anyone present. However, it appears that a weird stranger has been following him all along. Mike doesn't discover anything else about them for nearly a year.
Yeah, so basically,
Then it reappears on a random flight session. And the quest has begun once more. In the past, even though this clown has been very successful at hiding, Mike's drone sees everything. 4 days later, it is surrounded. I'm shocked Mike saw it because it seemed to blend in and appear like an animal at first.
Yo, what is that? Probably nothing. Yo, what the heck? Yo, oh my god, look at this.
With its bright red hair, I was extremely curious about how this clown could be put out of sight at all, yet when it lays down, just black bits of its attire is visible. This would be impossible to spot from the ground, especially unless you were looking. I don't want to think about walking by a clown who is laying in wait for me for too long. Then, Mike Cass pursues it into the woods until he is forced to back off by power lines. The clown must have chosen other locations to dwell in after being chased like that because it was never seen or heard from again. Mikey Mantz, a YouTuber, became obsessed with the legends of Clinton Road, a haunting region in New Jersey where everything from psychos to phantom trucks is supposed to follow individuals and sometimes end lives. After a night of failed ghost hunting, Mikey Mantz chooses to fly his drone along the road during the day, hoping that the commotion will get the attention no matter what is out there. It goes without saying that this strange man is strolling down Clinton Road. The clown nearly connects with the drone before Mikey flies out of range, at which point the clown leaves the ground and begins to fly. Aside from the bright wig, their attire mixes in surprisingly well with the surroundings, and they simply slip away, knowing just where to hide. It's hard to know where it is until it steps out for an ambush at its leisure, a strategy I am quite certain that it's done on countless individuals before. Mikey appears to avoid another rock, and the clown, realizing it has been outwitted, then decides to flee once more. Despite the fact that it appears to have been apprehended, then it performs something that lends Clinton Road its spooky reputation.
Where'd you go?
It appears to vanish. Number 4. Ways to avoid using your drone. Matt Maniaci lives near an airport with flight restrictions and has heard that anyone who attempts to fly a drone in has something strange and perhaps horrible happen to them. Because he does not know whether it's true, he goes right up to the no-fly zone marker on his GPS and powers on his drone. And the only thing left is to break federal aviation restrictions and notice what takes place. It seems that I half expected Homeland Security to show up in a van or for his drone to stop working at random. However, instead, as he put it, despite the fact that he presses on, the drone would not budge.
Just goes kind of sideways.
There appears to be something that is holding it back without harming it, and I'd like to be curious about what it is. Is this some kind of low-level electromagnetic frequency jammer? Otherwise, how do you believe it is done? Although I'm really happy that he didn't get in trouble, posting a video that could violate any laws is probably not a good decision. Or perhaps this was never legal, to begin with. Let me know if you agree or disagree. There seems to be a drone flying over the ocean noticing a boat and choosing to follow it to see what takes place. Then, he follows them for over 2 minutes while they point at him and appear perplexed as to why they are being followed. They have no choice except to wait for him to pause recording them and go find something else to do. Despite the fact that I suppose it's allowed by the law since there seems to be no expectation of privacy in public, it's still a strange thing to do considering individuals are in their bathing suits and did not consent to this. In addition, it's a boating hazard since the person in charge has to be distracted. Please share with me what you think about this video and whether you believe he is breaking any laws. Otherwise, should the rules be tightened to prohibit this type of recording? Despite the fact that I'm sure they're all aware of the drone's presence, I can see why people might be concerned if it occurred to them. According to a man, weird drones have been following him for over a year. Usually, despite the fact that I'd have a hard time trusting such a claim, he has a lot of strange proof that makes me question what's going on. To the naked eye, they appear to be 3 separate lights that are mysterious.
Today's August 8th, Friday, August 8th, 2019. It's been hovering there, it's just there.
This single still photograph captures all 3 of them at the same time. Although the first 2 appear to be the same size, the third appears to be smaller and further away. Let me know what you think these lights are if you have ever seen them around your house. The way they shift colors is strange and unsettling. Despite the fact that I assumed this was a special effects video, after 1 minute, he demonstrates that it is a fully regular video. The lights in each video seem the same, like a fingerprint every time he zooms in, and there are far too many films like this one on his channel for him to fabricate. So, what are your thoughts on what's going on here? Is he being observed, or is this all in his head? Mike Mance seems to go back to Clinton Road, determined to capture anything frightening on the drone at night. He and his companion are less concerned about clowns and more curious about whether a phantom vehicle really does vanish at the end of Clinton Road, according to the legend.
But yeah, this is earlier today, and I'll go to another video where it's darker.
It isn't long before a truck, phantom or real, drives by and they attempt to track it from above. It seems that everything is going swimmingly until they are suddenly no longer be able to see the truck, almost as if it vanishes, and the drone remains fixed in midair where the truck was last seen. Even though it leaves the ground and begins to fly on its own and gets stuck in a tree, here's the strange bit. While it's up there, it begins flashing red for no apparent reason, much like a truck's brake lights. What are your thoughts on this? Is this evidence of the legend's veracity?
Here. Use your phone. Yeah. Show my hand. Look. This is full throttle forward, and then show the drone. Watch. I'm full throttle. Look. Show my hand. Show my hand.
Bro, stop moving. Stop it.
Look,
Stop.
it's going back. Look. It's going back.
Going backwards. Oh my God.
By the looks of it, a drone user deals with a problem himself to break up a rowdy late-night party with some Roman candles. When the drone sprays low-powered Roman candles directly at them and their automobiles, the partygoers move in different directions and run away.
And it's blinking red too.
On impact, despite the fact that Roman candles don't cause much harm, what if one is thrown in the eye? Given that everyone is staring straight up, this has a decent likelihood of happening. In addition, there's a nearby power line that gets hit at 18 seconds, luckily the pole and not any of the wires, and because before the next one goes right into a tree, this definitely wasn't a good idea. Number 3. Creatures who will eat your drone. I believe the next video is just a man who wears a suit, however, I just wanted to hear your thoughts. To find a supposedly large humanoid, they move quickly and the way they run looks like a smaller person inside a lightweight costume. Then, they run with their arms raised until they realize what they're doing and allow them to hang a little longer. In addition, despite the fact that I'm no cryptid expert, I believe something this large would lean forward instead of standing straight up when running. This cryptid-finding thermal imaging drone attempts to discover the heat signature of a cryptid that is walking through the forest late at night. It appears to be somewhat persuasive at first glance, except for one glaringly obvious weak spot. The arms get gradually tender at 8 seconds and I believe they are forearm extensions, which are occasionally used as a theater prop. The suit itself appears to be in good condition, with the exception of the arms, which appear to be very thin, especially at 14 seconds, and stick out at an odd angle from the elbow. So, while I have my reservations about this one, there is one thing I can't make clear. It does appear to be emitting a heat signature, which I doubt a costumed person could do. Because the outfit lacks a circulatory system, it should be almost entirely blue. When Aldo's World TV and his friend Aimer take a drone into the woods from the security of their own car, neither of them knows what to expect.
Where?
Right there, right there. There's like something.
I'm saying.
I think it's a coyote. There's like something in the trees. Right there, you see it? It's right there, it's right there.
I literally don't
It's like
see it.
moving. It's right in front of you, right there.
Oh,
It's moving, right?
Despite the fact that they can't stray far from the trail due to the dense tree cover, after a while they notice a mysterious creature down on all fours staring at them. It seems to have beady dark circles under its eyes and porcelain skin, just like a skinwalker. When they approach, it just bears a resemblance to someone wearing a white skin suit on all fours, or so I think. And I'm not sure why they didn't just fly higher for a better view and possibly follow it back to its hiding place. Instead, they return to their car and do not notify any park officials, which does not appear plausible to me. Nevertheless, if I'm mistaken, I'm curious about what it was and if it was along the trail to feed on someone passing by. It appears that Bruce Austin 3D brings his drone to Stony Point Park to do some train spotting and is met by a swarm of angry insects. This is close to where a swarm of bees once hospitalized a boy while he was riding his bicycle, and it's likely that this is what he saw as he pedaled for his life. I was taken aback by how enormous they are, more akin to a full-grown wasp than the ones I'm used to seeing. I am told what species they are since his drone was followed by them for a long distance and they were really aggressive. Here's a hint: their venom is so potent that when he touched his face after touching his drone, his skin was burned by the venom from the bug guts for 15 minutes, causing him excruciating pain. Here's a terrifying drone video that I can't imagine being faked. Andromedy ventures deep into the bayou to discover what sort of creatures might be able to survive there. It looks like the swamp water is practically impenetrable, and they're beginning to suspect they won't discover anything at all. Despite the fact that they come across what they're seeking, just as they're about to quit up. Even though they feel secure in their automobile, they're still terrified as one of the gators rushes forward, hungry. Let me know if you believe this gator is seeking a meal or defending its territory. A little white pea-sized circular object speeding past interrupts a city skyline.
That's actually an alligator right there? Yeah, right there, look on the left.
No, we actually hit a jackpot, bro.
It appears to be out of proportion to the drone, so it's not an insect.
Oh, he is.
He is! Yeah, dude, he's trying to eat us.
Despite the fact that some speculate that this could be a small spaceship teeming with animals, in my opinion, that's a bit of a stretch.
I'm just
Look,
guessing.
look, watch. If he moves this way, 100%.
Oh, he is.
Oh, he is.
Someone else said it could be a pellet, which I agree is a possibility. However, if that's what it was, there would have been more than one coming at the drone. No matter what it was, it never reappeared, and there is not anyone that has been able to find the answer to the riddle since June 21, 2019. Number 2. Thrilling places you should never fly your drone over. Not long ago, a drone pilot named Favisa explored over Lake Berryessa in California, which shocked the entire internet. And it does not seem to see from this distance and probably see passing traffic as well, which only adds to the terror. However, get a little closer and there is this dangerous swirling hole that is hidden in the water that appears to have never been there. It was speculated that a sinkhole had formed and was gradually devouring the earth. What's more terrifying is when he enters the hole and gets you to feel as if you're not going to live much longer. Were you ever to swim too close? This is what your last moments on Earth would look like. This is, in fact, a spillway, and its intent is to prevent the nearby dam from overflowing. And engineers created it, and it was not a result of a freak accident. It seems that I just wanted to dispel some rumors while also giving you a sneak peek inside one of California's most haunted locations. Allowing police to use drones has been a contentious issue for some time, and they have recently developed something that adds a whole new level to the debate. These miniature drones are not too big to fit under a door or through a partially open window. It appears to be one flying through someone's garage, going through the rafters for a short time before going into their living room, possibly through a vent, to examine if they're breathing before arresting them for a warrant, all without ever entering his house. He bears a resemblance to a colossus in comparison to the drone, which is effortlessly 100 times smaller and so easeful that he doesn't even wake up. So, Based on what you've just seen, do you think law enforcement should have these, or do you think there's too much potential for this technology to be abused? In any case, some departments have been using them for months, and they may be coming to a precinct near you soon, just hopefully not for you. It seems that this drone owner decides to honor his cat by stuffing it and turning it into a drone, or quadcopter if you need to get technical, because it has 4 propellers. The cat appears to be terrified for its life despite the fact that the worst has already occurred, so its wide-eyed expression is extremely gruesome. Please don't misunderstand me, despite the fact that I see the humor in this, and I think it seems strange that it's almost sort of funny, I can notice how some people think it's discourteous to animals and should be banned. Therefore, I was curious about what your thoughts were on this and if you thought they went too far. I want to ask a question: where did all of the electronics end up? There seems to be a drone flying over to a neighbor's house and beginning to buzz around their yard for a few moments. Despite the fact that it doesn't fly up to their windows or do anything blatantly intrusive, it does examine their house from all 4 sides in a creepy and possibly illegal manner, because this is private property and not theirs. It almost knocks out the power lines that connect to their house in 1 minute. And I'm not sure if it was done on purpose or not. It was probably not, but it would have been expensive and could have even set fire if the drone burned up and landed in the grass. Lastly, the drone seems to lose balance and becomes stuck in a tree, which leads me to believe that this is a younger child who has no idea any better rather than a fully grown adult. I doubt their neighbors would appreciate being watched like this, regardless of their age. Of course, this is assuming that the video is genuine in the first place. Number 1. Scary people droning. On April 8, 2020, a drone discovers a harrowing situation unfolding over Hart Island, New York, leaving its pilot terrified. A group of workers in white hazmat suits is in control of a forklift when it thrusts dirt over a ditch filled with crates, with a second ditch waiting to be filled as well. Those keeping their distance are not putting on biohazard suits, but rather government black suits, and they seem to have no desire to go near whatever is in these crates. A closer examination of the crates reveals that they are more resembling the shape of a human, and given Hart Island's history as a temporary burial ground, it's frightening to imagine what might be inside. Let me know what you think is causing them to be so cautious with this cargo, because I don't know. Someone piloting a drone with their mind would be comparatively spine-chilling to see outside of a controlled environment. However, that is exactly what this researcher from the University of Florida is carrying out here. It appears that they can move the drone in all directions simply by thinking about it, thanks to special electrodes attached to their heads. And I want to ask a question: is whether there are any long-term physical effects to manipulating things with your mind, as well as what would take place if you thought about it going in 2 directions at the same time. Would you be courageous enough to try wearing one of these on your head? Despite the fact that it appears to be enjoyable, perhaps I ought to wait and see how it goes with the other participants first. There seems to be a drone pilot who is flying around his neighborhood and captures some aerial footage of the highway before deciding to take it closer to his house. Because this is his home, notice it when the camera returns to the ground. They can see this tiny all-white figure inching up his driveway towards his home at 30 seconds. And it isn't him, he wasn't even staying at home at the time. There is no car parked in front, so it isn't the mailman, and there doesn't seem to be any car in the driveway. The camera goes forward just as it reaches the doorway, and when it returns, the figure has vanished. The drone pilot returned home immediately, finding no evidence of forced entry or tracks. So, was this a ghost, someone who didn't have a car and went to the wrong address, or what? Sunday Rides, a YouTuber, walks in a slow, relaxed way through the neighborhood, and I believe this is the moment a man notices him and suspects he's spying on him. It appears that Sunday Rides goes to the edge of the neighborhood and circles around over the stranger's house, which I believe is what enrages him enough to leave here for a short time and deal with the drone. Despite the fact that I'm not sure if Sunday Rides was simply turning around or if he was specifically targeting this person, even if he was, the neighbor should have gone inside and got in touch with the police if he felt harassed. And I don't think destroying their own lawn is the best means of solving a problem. Sunday rides makes up his mind to make the best of the situation and then returns home. I hope he isn't apprehended as a result of this, since I believe it was a mere misunderstanding. Thanks for checking out this video. Be sure to subscribe because I upload a new video every day. Or if you're still not convinced, here are some of my other videos that I think you'd like. Enjoy.